Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into something pretty interesting, an investor presentation from Arabian Petroleum Limited, APL, right? It's dated March 31st, 2025.
That's right. And it's more than just numbers, this one.
Oh, definitely. It's really about understanding how this company, APL, an Indian company, has, well, how's making its mark.
Yeah, in a really essential industry, lubricants, we're talking everything from, car oil up to super specialized industrial fluids.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack their vision, their operations, which seem quite impressive, and how they're innovating. They're aiming to be a leader, making eco-friendly stuff too.
And they're not just sticking to lubricants, they're looking at additives, performance chemicals. It shows real ambition, starting from their founding back in 2006.
Okay, let's dive in then. Let's unpack how APL is planning to become this global player. So maybe start with the basics. Who exactly is Arabian Petroleum Limited? What's their main thing?
Right. So APL, established 2006, like you said. They're based in Mumbai, India. And their core business is manufacturing and distributing a pretty wide range of lubricants.
Under a couple of brand names?
Yeah, mainly two, Arzol and then just APL itself.
And this range is not just for one type of use, is it? It covers different sectors.
Exactly. Two big ones, automotive and industrial.
Okay.
So for automotive, that's your standard stuff, but also more specialized things. Four-stroke oils, passenger car oils, diesel engine oils, gear oils, even tractor oils and hydraulic oils.
Right. The usual suspects for vehicles.
Pretty much. And then on the industrial side, that's where it gets really specialized. Lubricants designed specifically to boost machine performance, reduce wear and tear.
Prevent breakdowns, I imagine. That must be key.
Absolutely. Prevent system breakdowns, cut down on energy use, think big machinery, complex processes.
So it's pretty foundational stuff for industry. Given that scope, what's their big picture, their vision and mission?
Well, their vision is ambitious. They want global leadership in high-quality lubricants, commitment to excellence, innovation that's core. And crucially, they want to diversify, get into additives, performance chemicals, using sustainable solutions.
Sustainable and innovative. Okay. And exporting too.
Yes, becoming a leading exporter is a stated goal, focusing on those eco-friendly products. And their mission really just backs that up. Manufacture top-quality lubricants and additives, lead with technology, innovate, add value, and, importantly, stick to international standards and sustainability.
Okay, a grand vision is one thing, but do they have the operational muscle to back it up? What do the numbers say about their scale?
They do seem to have the scale. Production capacity is 48,000 kiloliters per year. That's quite substantial.
48,000, wow.
Oh.
And people. Distribution?
Over 250 employees. And a wide network, more than 300 distributors across, I think it's 22 plus states in India. Plus, they're exporting to over 25 countries now.
Okay, that is a serious footprint. What about their own facilities, quality control, that sort of thing?
Yeah, their in-house capabilities look strong. They list over 30 sophisticated testing instruments, more than 50 in-house testing facilities overall.
So they can really check their own work, basically.
Seems like it. And storage is significant too. 1,000 kiloliters for finished goods, 2,000 KL total for base oil at their plant. And managing all this, they produce over 500 different products.
500. That's a huge portfolio. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the foundation. Now, this investor presentation, March 2025, it must highlight some recent big moves, right? What are the breakthroughs, especially internationally or in new areas?
Absolutely. This is where it gets quite interesting. A major international step was landing their first order from the Border Roads Organization. It's for Project Dantak.
Dantak. Where's that?
It's a road construction project in Bhutan. So this really marks APL stepping onto the international infrastructure stage. Big deal for them.
Definitely. And domestically. Any new ventures?
Yes, a really aggressive move into transformer oil. That's a high potential specialized market.
Right, for electrical grids and stuff.
Yeah.
Critical.
Exactly. And they secured a landmark order worth about 40 lakhs rupees, so 4 million rupees,
Wow.
from India's biggest PSU steel manufacturer. That's a major validation in a tough segment.
And are they making inroads with, like, government bodies or other key industries?
They are. They got vendor registration with Western Railway. That's huge because it potentially opens up a ton of government and railway projects.
Okay, that makes sense. Access is key there.
And another big one, a breakthrough in the OEM segment, original equipment manufacturers.
Right, the companies that make the actual machine.
Precisely. They've partnered with global leaders who make concrete pumps. And APL is now supplying the oils as the first fill.
Ah, so the oil in the pump when it's brand new is APL's.
Exactly. That's a powerful endorsement straight into the construction and mining sectors.
It sounds like getting specific product approvals must be really important in this game as well.
Oh, absolutely critical. They got approval from Daimler Truck, Mercedes-Benz trucks for their 10W40 grade. That's a huge stamp of quality.
Daimler? Okay,
Yeah.
that's prestigious.
Yeah.
It meets incredibly tough standards. And it's not just them. They also got Volvo Group Trucks approval for one of their specific API CK4 oils back in January 2024. And they have API certifications. That's the American Petroleum Institute for several key products, too. Those are globally recognized benchmarks.
So ticking boxes with the big players. What about their own international expansion strategy beyond that Bhutan project?
A very deliberate move in 2025 was setting up a wholly owned subsidiary in Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
Arzol Petroleum Trading FZE.
Okay, a strategic hub.
Exactly. They've got the trade license now for automotive sales there. It's clearly about building that international presence directly.
Makes sense.
And one more thing. Showing their technical depth, they received a technology absorption certificate from DRDO.
India's Defense R&D Organization.
That's the one. It was for a universal recoil fluid technology, March 12, 2025. So that shows they're involved in some pretty high-tech, potentially defense-related applications too. Interesting. Okay, so those are some big strategic wins. What about just day-to-day operational improvements or market positioning? Where do they actually sit in the Indian market?
Operationally, they launched a new warehouse facility recently, Karuli Chakan, near Pune in Maharashtra. Should help streamline their logistics.
Better delivery, better service.
That's the idea. And they stay visible. They participated in ChemExpo in Mumbai in April 2024. That's a key event for India's chemical industry.
Right, got to be seen. So how does APL stack up against the competition in India? It must be a crowded market.
It is. India's total lubricant market is estimated around 29 kilotons. APL's contribution is about 24.5 KT.
Okay, 24.5 out of over 3,000. So where does that put them?
That volume puts them among the top 20 lubricant brands overall in India. And if you look just at Indian origin homegrown brands, they're holding the 13th position.
13th among Indian brands. Okay.
So overall market share is around 0.8%. But here's a key detail. In the metalworking segment, their share is much higher, about 3.6%.
Ah, so they have a real strength in that specific industrial niche.
Seems so. It's a specialized, often high-value area.
And how does their mix of business, industrial, consumer, commercial compare to the overall Indian market?
It's a bit different. The total Indian market is roughly 55% industrial, 28% commercial, and 17% consumer.
Okay.
APL's own contribution, that 24.5 KT, breaks down as 52% industrial, so pretty close to the market average, but then 37% consumer and only about 10.5% commercial.
So much stronger on the consumer side within their own sales mix than the market average, and less on the commercial vehicle side. Interesting focus.
Yeah, it suggests they're doing particularly well getting their automotive and perhaps some industrial products directly to end users or through consumer-facing channels.
Right. Okay, we've talked a lot about their current range, but innovation is key, you mentioned. What's cooking in their R&D labs? What's next?
They're definitely working on new stuff. The presentation highlights several innovative products in development, mostly for industrial and specialized markets.
Like what?
Things like peel-type removable rust preventives. Imagine a protective coating you can just peel off clean.
Oh, neat. Saves cleaning hassle.
Exactly. Also, esters for refrigeration compressor oils, focused on energy efficiency. SMO sorbitan monooleate, which sounds versatile. Rust protectors for submersible pumps.
Enhancing durability there.
Right. And fatty acid amides as a raw material for emulsifiers. That's about backward integration, controlling quality and cost. Plus, specialized fluids like line aluminum wire drawing fluid.
So a real mix of niche, high-performance industrial solutions.
Definitely pushing into specialized areas.
And have they actually launched any standout new products recently? Things that are available now?
Yes, a few are mentioned. A Swen Link T20, that's a synthetic chain oil. It's food grade and high temperature resistant. Very specific needs there.
Food processing, maybe?
Could be. Then there's Rust Protex PX2, described as a defense-grade anti-corrosion coating for extreme conditions.
Ties back to that DRDO connection, perhaps?
Possibly. And for the automotive market, Agnu's 0W20 API SP. That's a fully synthetic engine oil for modern gasoline engines, focusing on fuel efficiency and protection, meeting the latest API SP standard.
Keeping up with modern engine tech. Okay, their reach seems huge. We talked about OEMs, government, international. Can you give us a feel for their major clients? Across which industries?
The client list is really diverse. It shows how widespread their business is. For private label, where they make products under other brands,
Right, you mentioned that earlier.
they work with some big names: Shell, Varroc, Endurance, Mahindra First Choice, Greaves Cotton, Hella, Topland. Big players.
Wow, Shell even. Okay.
And then for tender sales, mostly government and public sector, the Indian Navy, Army, Air Force, Indian Railways, ISRO, the Space Agency, ONGC, Oil and Gas, BSF, Border Security, HAL Aerospace, Ordnance Factories, the list goes on. Over 200 government clients mentioned.
That's incredible penetration into the public sector. Very stable business, I'd imagine.
It suggests a high level of trust and reliability, definitely.
And remind us about the international footprint again.
Exports to over 25 countries,
Yeah.
spread across South Asia, Africa, Latin America, Australia, and the Gulf countries. A really broad geographical reach.
So pulling it all together, what specific industries end up using all these different products? It must be almost everything.
It really is a vast list, just reading some of them. Plastics, chemicals, lifts and cranes, engineering, pharma, textiles, sugar mills, mining, pulp and paper,
Okay.
automotive, obviously, packing machinery, railways, agriculture, cement, power generation, even dairy and food processing.
Goodness. It really underscores how essential lubricants are, doesn't it? They're everywhere.
Absolutely fundamental to keeping almost every sector running.
Now, to operate at this level, across so many critical sectors, quality control and standards must be non-negotiable. What kind of certifications do they hold?
You're right, it's paramount. They highlight several key ISO certifications. ISO 14025 for their quality control lab. It's a big one for testing competence.
Right, validates their lab results.
Then ISO 14001 for environmental management, ISO 410001 for occupational health and safety, and the classic ISO 9001 for quality management systems.
So covering quality, safety, environment, the whole package.
It looks like a comprehensive commitment to accepted international standards.
And any specific industry awards or recognition recently?
Yes, in 2024, Industry Outlook recognized them. They named Arabian Petroleum as one of the top 10 metalworking fluids manufacturers.
Oh, reinforcing that strength in the metalworking niche we talked about.
Exactly. It acknowledges their focus on quality and delivery in that specific demanding segment.
Well, this has been a really thorough deep dive into Arabian Petroleum Limited. Quite an impressive journey from 2006 to now. A global vision, massive product range, huge client base. They're clearly a serious player.
Indeed. What stands out is the consistency. Consistent focus on innovation, that strategic diversification, transformer oils, additives, and crucially, getting those key approvals and partnerships locked in. They're not just growing, they seem to be actively evolving.
Adapting to the market, anticipating needs.
Precisely, and pushing the technology, especially with things like synthetic and specialized fluids.
So, thinking about this for you, our listener.
Yeah.
When you realize just how much relies on lubricants from huge factories down to your car engine, the quality and the innovation really matter. As APL keeps expanding and innovating, particularly pushing towards those eco-friendly and high-performance solutions, it really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
How is this relentless demand for, well, for better, cleaner, more specialized chemicals and fluids going to keep reshaping this entire global industry? What other breakthroughs are waiting just over the horizon in lubrication technology? Something to ponder.